change and go back to the way it was in the future. I always like to promote our Amway Gear site. Amway Gear site is an excellent site to go to get products or what I call trinkets to help promote your business. So whether that's an artistry product, Nutrilite product, Amway product, we try to do some good things in this area about giving you apparel. On this particular slide you'll see artistry accessories. So we're promoting the Tokyo edition right now. So you'll see some things that you can buy based on that particular promotion. We have tons of accessories. This is probably our top selling area on the Amway Gear site is the artistry accessory. A lot of people like to purchase in this area. A lot of great giveaways for parties and things like that. The Nutrilite accessories are also pretty popular along with the apparel. So please go out and take a look at the Amway Gear site. Things are always changing in that area, but some great what I call promotional type apparel and accessories come through Amway Gear. The Office Depot in-store card, one of our top cards, one of our top programs, and it's based on that card. That card gives you the opportunity to not only swipe in stores, so this is one of the few relationships we have, probably the only relationship where you can go into the store by just having this Office Depot card from Amway, and this allows the tracking to take place in the store and not just online. So you can still shop online and have your information tracked by using any type of card. But if you use this card in the store, it'll also generate PVBB for you. And this is probably 30-40% of their sales. So this card does well. It allows you to go into the store, last minute purchases, and still receive PVBB. And as you can see, the PVBB payout is pretty strong. Next slide is just going to show some of the things that are available. This is something that Office Depot, Office Max came to us and said they even have masks that are now available on the site. So I always say go out and check out the site, especially our relationship with Office Depot. It's more of a customized site for us. So there'll be some potentially unique things on there for Amway. We're working right now on maybe some print capabilities with the Office Depot, Office Max situation. So once again, support one of our loyal and one of our bigger partner stores, the Office Depot Office Max relationship. Next slide. And now we'll talk a little bit about the Canadian partner stores. As you can see, the goals and objectives are pretty much the same, so nothing changes there. But what we do have is just different programs. So like we just promoted here in the U.S., the Amway Visa card, they have the MBNA MasterCard in Canada. So those are two differences that we kind of talk about. New partners launched in July. Not sure what that slide is trying to get to. Either the image isn't coming up right away. Maybe it's on the next click. Well, let's go back and see. And that's the MasterCard program I was referring to. Very similar to the Amway Visa card, but they actually pay out their upfront bonus when you sign up throughout the year. So maybe a very strong program in Canada because that rewarding of RSDB is done throughout the year, not done through a promotional time period like it is here in the States. And then this is the ESSO card. Yeah, and that's their fuel card in Canada, and we would love to have one of those. We've actually worked with different opportunities and just could never come up with anything, but just a great card in Canada. I think it's one of their top 3 programs because it rewards PVBB on the purchase of fuel, which is something we would love to do in the States, but just a great opportunity. But to me, any of these programs, whether whether it's the MasterCard in Canada or this ESSO card, it's just showing loyalty to your business. We talk about all the things we want to do with customers coming up and the loyalty from IBOs and customers. Anytime you participate in a partner store or use anything from that area, it's showing loyalty to your business because you don't have to go through Amway to do that. You could go through directly to the site and get that particular purchase and not receive any additional volume. So showing loyalty to partner stores is really showing loyalty to your business. These are some of the top partner stores in Canada. These stores are very similar to the ones we have in the States. And once again, we just try to indicate where people are shopping and where the PVBD can be generated based on where you purchase.
And then some of the highlights with the gift cards that are available.
Joel, I'm not sure about that.
These are, I guess, in Canada on the excess gift cards. If they're still available that way.
Yeah, we still have gift cards for the Excess Gear site and the Amway Gear site. It's one of the only sites where I would recommend that you go purchase gift cards, especially if you have a situation where you want to give some type of Christmas gift or some other type of, experience you want a potential customer to have. You can give gift cards through Excess Gear and Amway Gear, and when they're redeemed, they also generate PVBD to the IBO.
All right, great. Awesome, Thomas. We were going to transition over now to testimony of how an IBO utilizes a lot of these partner stores. For those of you that may not be as familiar, I know there's a lot of us that are on the webinar that do take advantage of many partner stores. But let's have Platinum IBOs Andy and Kim Smith on to share with you a little bit about how they do that, how they create volume and utilize that volume in their own household through the partner stores and get that added advantage rather than going out to any one of those stores and just shopping there without being able to go online and get that extra benefit. And they're from Rochester, New York. Kim is a retired kindergarten teacher, and Andy is a corporate HR manager. They've been married for 16 years, launched their business when they were 23 and 22. They have 3 children, and their upline diamonds are the Bryan family. Hey, welcome, Andy and Kim.
Doyle, thanks so much for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Anytime we get on one of your stages, virtual or otherwise, it's humbling and we're nervous for a couple of minutes, but we got some great stuff to cover. And of course, we didn't know Thomas Gordon's slides in advance, but a really great tie-in and segue to the things we wanted to cover and say that we use on a daily basis. So I think partner stores are a fun topic and sometimes underrated and can be used pretty strategically along the way. We acknowledge the differences between U.S. and Canada and some of the things we'll say, so forgive us in advance for using U.S. versions of some of this, but I'll turn it over to Kim for a minute. Here she is.
Thanks. Yeah, no, we're excited because, of course, everything, all the core stuff we get from Amway is amazing. That's just an added bonus with the partner stores, but even just the everyday stuff, we had a couple over tonight, and that's just starting to partner with us, and I have my 1-800 contacts that were delivered to the door, and they're like, oh, you get your contacts from here. We have to order some anyway, so that was exciting for them to see. It was right on our doorstep when they came over, and sometimes people forget about those types of things, and it's so great that we have that. And Target, everyone shops at Target around here. I know it's a little different in Canada, but Target here is very popular, and we have the registries and people coming up that are getting a couple getting married soon, and sometimes people forget. You click on the link to Target, you go to the registry, just go right to Amway first. It's a partner. Sometimes people forget you can go right through there. So everyone's buying online anyway, so everyone always around here is shopping at Target anyway. So why wouldn't you go through ours first? And so that's where we go. It's Target. We go through our business first, so they're partnered with us. So that's pretty awesome to have that credibility there. And then there's I have three little girls, and it's awesome. We deliver to the door. They watch when the truck is going to be coming. I'm so excited. And but it's also, it can be in-store pickup sometimes. If you want to pick something out, and you can go right to the store if you want it right away. There's in-store pickup. You can also do that, which has been great. And there's just so many options that it's really awesome that we have all those partners that he was just talking about. And another one that sometimes people don't think of is on Vistaprint. I've used that even for Christmas cards. You can make a Christmas card right on Vistaprint and get points for the Christmas cards you might send out with picture ones and photograph ones and so many other things you can do on there and great TVBV. So, and lots of other stuff that Andy's going to add in here. So I'll let him share some more things about the partner stores. We're just excited because it's things you're going to get anyways. And we have amazing partners that Amway takes care of all that for us. And the partnership is pretty amazing. So we're just thankful to have that. So here's Andy.
You bet. We always are explaining a little bit adds up, and after we say that enough times, we realize a lot adds up to a lot over time. So a few points I want to deep dive on here. Again, really nice segues from Thomas Gordon's deck that he just shared, and I'll piggyback on his idea of the Bank of America Visa, or in Canada's case, the MasterCard that we have. That is a promotion that's current through July 31st, and we've just found that program is an awesome angle to teach a few things. And really an opportunity to segue into other parts of the business. And what do I mean by that? Well, first of all, when we get to the Amway Visa, we explain to them and say, hey, look, every time we swipe this card, it's not even a product that you're buying, it's a service, and you've got to pay for things somehow. So number one, when you buy things on the Amway site using the card, you got to ask yourself, am I kind of double dipping? Am I getting credit twice for the same purchase and the same shopping cart? And the answer is yes, albeit a smaller amount. And then I illustrate for people, you realize that when you do have to shop somewhere that isn't a partner store, like put gas in your car or go to the grocery store to get perishables or buy a couch that you couldn't find in any of our stores, you can use that and still get credit. So really, who's not our partner is anybody that doesn't take Visa. That's usually a great eye-opener for them, so they realize how powerful that can be. And then they ask questions like, well, I use a GM card or a Air Miles card or something that gets me some other kind of rewards. How does this compare? And I love to say, well, it doesn't, because those cards won't give you credit for 1,000 of your friends' purchases if you should build an organization, which is the whole point of this thing. So it's just really powerful, great eye-opener. People ask what the rate is and the APR and if it's competitive, and we love to use that as a teaching example for how we're helping people get out of debt, not into debt. So a great introduction to financial responsibility. We can have some fun with it and say, hey, people on our team, they pay this card off every month. And so what's the APR? What's the rate? Is it competitive? I have no idea, because we pay it off every month on our team. So people usually laugh at that, and they realize that we'll be able to help them in that realm of life as well. Let's see. And also, those points trickle in all month. Like every couple of days, if you're using that card for everything, you start to see those points trickle into your personal TV. And that can be great, because we know that we have our strong ditto on the first with core Amway products, and we have this great day one launch to the month. But at the same time, it's nice to see a constant trickle, so every time you log in, you see that it's going up a little bit. So that's kind of fun and a nice confidence boost. So that's enough about the Visa. I'll move on to another topic here about the strategy of how you can position the partner stores when you are introducing them, whether it be in an overview or a follow-through, whether you're using a TL 101 brochure or you're online with the deck. I'll actually turn this around a bit and say, while we're promoting the partner stores, it actually can be a very powerful way to be sure you double down and promote Amway products. So what do I mean by that? Well, when we get to that point of the brochure or the slides where it has these incredible name brands, like Thomas said, it serves as credibility. It has a pow factor. When you're about to introduce to them a bunch of brands that they've never seen before, like our amazing core Amway products, their mind wants to go to the Nikes and Under Armours because it's relatable. They can understand that, from their current life. However, that's a chance for you to be able to say how proud we are to partner with them, and to explain that if you come over to my house, you're going to see that I first look at these core line products from Amway, because we're talking about, every $3 get a point. And when you open my coverage, you're going to see that I've chosen Amway's products first and foremost if they're available to me. But boy, am I glad that I have access to these other brand names for both credibility and to find all the other things I need. And I'll just double down and remind them. Say, look, it's a smaller amount. Here's the point. Nike said to us, and I'm paraphrasing because I wasn't there, they said, look, we have other responsibilities. We have other celebrities we pay. We have other places that some of our profit needs to go to, and some of this margin. We can't pay these rates that Amway does for their own stuff. You're just partnering so directly with them. To which Amway's response has been, but you got to pay us something if you want access to this powerful network. And it's a chance to come back and illustrate through both the core line and partner stores how the power is really in the network as opposed to getting bogged down and talking about products. And to be able to talk about these brand name stores partnered with Amway, we didn't have to do all that stuff with the lawyers and the choosing and the any regulations and or contracts that happen. It was all taken care of. So a huge blessing there. So again, a way to explain the partner stores in proper context, but always draw power back to the Amway products because you want to let them know that's your true bread and butter. Let's see. And I also love to explain loyalty that way too. So I use Home Depot as an example because everybody can relate to it. And when I point to Home Depot, I say, here's what happened when they partnered with us in our business and the power of our network as we stick together and have buying power. When Home Depot partnered with us a few years ago, I had Lowe's 5 miles in one direction and Home Depot 5 miles in the other. I even had a friend that worked at Lowe's. But wouldn't you know that since Home Depot joined us a few years ago, I haven't set foot inside a Lowe's. And so I tell that story and I pause and I say, do you see the implications there in loyalty? Do you see the shift in retail that we are actually a part of? And I don't know when I'll ever set foot in a Lowe's again, but Home Depot gets my business. Same store in essence about the things I need. They get my business, and it's a great way to stop and introduce how extremely loyal we are on this team to the people that are loyal to us. So that's kind of the strategy of how I highlight it in the plan or in a follow-through and reiterate that. I'll also do that when I'm giving a site tour ultimately in an overview or a follow-through and show you how you get to the partner stores because people are always curious, what does it mean to shop at Target? They want to see that you can click on the word Target, that it opens a new web browser, and you're literally at the Target that they're used to seeing. And I'll even tell them, hey, if you already have a username and password, it'll still work. It'll still work here. It's just Target. But because of that extra click you did, you get paid versus not getting paid. And you always see the light bulb go up when you slow down and show them that. Very relatable. Next topic I'll talk about is I'll hit on Office Depot like Thomas did as well. So here's an example of a funny story. A lot of us will remember the Store for More catalog where we could get some miscellaneous non-perishables that Amway would steward and have through their warehouses, and they had toilet paper at some point. And for years we bought the Amway brand of toilet paper, and of course we were loyal to it. We all know it had a very small PV/BV ratio compared to their core line products, and that's fine. But we were always loyal to it. But when the Store for More went away and Amway streamlined the product offerings, which was smart, and they didn't offer toilet paper through that same avenue, our diamond Brenda Bryan spoke up and said, hey guys, we have Office Depot. The PV you get for that at 11.67% is actually higher than we were getting with our partnership with the Store for More. And so we all laughed about that, and since then I've gotten our toilet paper, tissues, paper towels, printer ink from Office Depot and enjoyed the free shipping and delivered right to our home, let alone using the card to be able to go in and get it. So vote with your dollars and monitor which of those stores have the higher ratios and go ahead and exercise a bias towards them if you want. That's part of partnering with them. Next topic would be some of the clothing stores. So they mentioned XS Gear and Amway Gear. I'll just give a shout out to not only the PV, but the quality of those products. I see Kim's pink XS shirt on right now. We love giving those gifts to each other, but I just know that they really went for quality on who they partnered with when they made those. And it's a great way for you to rep your brand and have fun. Even if you're just wearing it around the house and nobody sees it, you feel the ownership of saying, this is my brand. Also, along those lines, when you think of a Kohl's or Target or Paul Frederick or any other men's stores or clothing stores you have, when you think about your business building uniform, if you have a pair of slacks or a golf shirt or a dress shirt or a sport coat that you wear often to go out and do meetings, make sure it's something from your store because you'll be able to call it out when you're giving an overview and point to it. It's a very relatable example. But also at the same time, you'll have that pride and you'll know when you leave the house that you have some ownership right on your body there. I'm about winding up here, but another point I'll make is double down on that Expedia and Travelocity, those travel websites. I'm sure to book my hotels and cars and flights through there. So don't underestimate the power of that small PV because everybody will be going places again someday. And I'll just end with this, Doyle. It's just all these things add up to just being that mindset of business ownership and that pride of ownership that when I walk around my house, I want to see light bulbs that are from my business. I want to see the mulch around my yard. Took 114 bags of mulch from Home Depot recently to do our yard this spring. I had the time because of quarantine. And you saw us on the BDS. We showed you our shower curtain and our bath towels. And all of that is just extremely duplicatable. It's simple. You're doing these things anyway. It strengthens your personal circle, I think, more than you'll realize. And it just strengthens the overall asset that you're building from beginning to end. Duplication behind it all is just brilliant. So that's all from us, Doyle. Thanks again for having us.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Andy and Kim. Super testimony. Great examples, and you guys are great examples overall, rather than just the examples that you share in terms of how you utilize them and maximize the advantage that we have with the partner store. So again, thank you very much for that and for being with us tonight.
Doyle, I'd like to chime in and say thank you to Andy and Kim. I've listened to a lot of IBOs over time talk about the partner store opportunity, and I don't think I've ever heard a couple explain it or use it the way you did. And I kept thinking he should drop the mic after this speech because you did a great job of really, talking about partner stores and how it should be used, how it can be used, and all the things that ties it back into being loyal to your business. So great job, Andy and Kim. Appreciate the kind words about partner stores.
Yes, absolutely. And let's transition that into some Q&A. All right, let's see. Just have some comments here. Questions, let's see.
And Doyle, I do want to bring up, just as you look through some of that, on average, when you look at a engaged IBO, so that's a plugged-in IBO to our business, an IBO averages about close to 40 PV per month through the partner stores area. So not a lot, but not something to also kind of push to the side. So if you look at what an engaged IBO generates through partner stores on a monthly basis, plus the average customer, and we have quite a few customers that shop through partner stores on behalf of an IBO, and that PV is around 15. So already you're looking at, from just personal purchases and maybe a registered customer or two who may purchase on the behalf of the IBO, you're looking at almost 55, 60 PV per month just in what I call natural traditional purchases. So not a bad thing to do once you're engaged and you show your loyalty to your business, as Andy stated. I think it's underrated because to me that engagement, that loyalty continues to build through your shopping, even though the PVBB might not be so big where it kind of wows you like 100 BV promotion does, but everything adds up, and I think it creates or builds a more loyal IBO.
Good point. I agree. I was just thinking, I like to explain it this way too, is that just think if you have, 10 to 20 IBOs that are doing 25 to 30 PV, but like Thomas says, if the average IBO that's engaged IBO is 40 PV, that could be, 400 PVs with the customers, another 500 to 1,000 PV with 10 to 20 IBOs that are focused and utilizing, kind of maximizing the partner stores the way that we all like to do. That's awesome. But if you eventually have 100 IBOs that are doing it, and we know not everybody qualifies for the Visa card, but if you had 100, think of a few thousand extra points to help be a bracket booster, move you to the next bracket or even two because of your partner stores. That would be pretty amazing. All right, let's see here. Okay, somebody's asking about the status for their favorite toy store, Best Buy. You already did that, no?
Yeah, and so we're working. Right. Yeah, we're hoping to either hear something or see a change with Best Buy within the next month or two.
And somebody's referring to, apparently there are several partner stores that are TNA right now because of what you explained with Best Buy as an example.
That's correct. We have Macy's that's also involved, Bass Pro, and those just happen in the month of April, maybe early May, where we received information that things would be changing due to the virus and the situation with shopping online, no bricks and mortars being open. So that did take place. I think we have a total of 4 or 5 stores that are TNA now. We're leaving them TNA because we think they will come back and things will change. So that's what we're hoping for. If things change in the future or payments can be made to Amway properly, then we will notify you and let you know. But we think things will change once the environment changes too.
If you sign up a customer on Bank of America Visa, do you get the extra PV?
Right now, that's a great question, and I'm going to dive into a long answer. Customers are no longer able to get an Amway Visa card. In the past, they were. But because there was no benefit to the customer and having that card, it was only generating PVBD to the IBO. Legally and based on regulations and things like that, we stopped offering the card because there was truly no benefit to the customer. But if you look at our program from past history, we still have quite a few customers that are generating PVBD for an IBO. I will say this, and Doyle, I think you may have heard this in some of our meetings. We are now looking at rewarding to some degree. I can't tell you what that's going to be for a customer in the future. So if we have the ability to reward a customer something in our business other than PVBV, we're going to do that. So I think the card may come back, but the card could and still will generate PVBV for an IBO. So stay tuned on that one because things may change. We may end up in some way, shape, or fashion trying to help reward a customer by creating some type of loyalty program for them and rewarding in that area for a customer and still maintaining rewarding for IBOs. I know that's kind of gray and cloudy based on but I'm trying to give you a hint that things may change for rewarding a customer through partner stores in the future. It hasn't changed yet, but we're working on some things behind the scenes to create a more loyal customer, just like we tried to do with having a loyal IBO shopping partner stores.
Will Land's End business ever become affiliated with Amway's partner store?
I can take a look at that. So I'll let you know.
And that's one thing that's good, everybody, too, because while we have comments on, we do get into recommending some partner stores that he can add to his list and see if there's an opportunity there.
And remember, working with Doyle, your upline, he has a special line into me. So if you do have any recommendations or anything you want to shoot through Doyle as far as a partner store opportunity, please do that because we take your information, we take the recommendations, we'll go back and look at it, see what the opportunity is, see if we can do anything. If there are other stores that you would recommend to Amway in our partner store area, please do. You can go right to Doyle, or Doyle can give you a direct email where you can send that information to me. But we will be more than happy to take a look at different products or services that IBOs may recommend to us.
Thomas, here's a question from someone about the Amway Gear site, and that is, do you have any promotional items for the agriculture business like you do for the other brands, or will you be able?
Is that the ABSA 80 kind of thing, or?
Yeah, the NutriPlant.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what are we thinking? Apparel, hats, things like that? I mean, I've heard that enough to where I think I should look into that and maybe do something about that. Because of size, I think it's a select group of IBOs that really work in that area. We haven't highlighted that, but if that's something you want me to do, or that's something that you have a group you think you could, promote that apparel or whatever it may be to, if you have a recommendation on what you would like to have, if you just like to have hats and t-shirts, send me that information. Send it to Doyle. Doyle can send it on to me, or once again, he can provide you my email